lifestyle speak.
What up, and what up? Salute to my brothers.
Absolutely.
Gunner,
what up?
Tad, what up? My brother Tad.
What we doing?
Make
OG
sure you
Wisdom?
check out the OG Wisdom podcast. You know what I mean? Being live and raw from a Lagoon. Good show, my niggas. I love y'all.
Most of our leaders come out of organizations. You have to be a part of an organization to be an effective leader. But how do we determine if you're an effective leader if you don't organize the people? You can't just grab the mic or your phone, get on YouTube and say, yo, I'm a good leader because I think I'm a good leader. You have to have a track record of organizing people, setting goals and agendas and getting them done.
Yeah. Politicians I don't really like. The activism is different because, you know, you got a goal. It has nothing to do with politics. When you are activist, you know, it's for your people.
Make sure y'all get ready to tune in to my brother, my big brother, C-Gutta and Tad, new podcast, OG Wisdom. Better tune in to that. A lot of Jews, a lot of knowledge, a lot of lifestyle, a lot of street talk, a lot of hood tales, real stories. Check it out. OG Wisdom, Tad, C-Gutta.
But through it all, the core of Charlie's message and his basic method never changed. It never really changed. He stayed the same person also. At every campus event, Charlie asked the people who disagreed with him to come forward, and instead of silencing them, he handed them a microphone and let them speak. And he'd convinced so many of them. It was a pretty amazing thing to watch, actually. Shortly before Charlie arrived on campus, the day he was assassinated, a staff member texted him that there were many critics and students who were opposed to his views and rather strenuously in the crowd. And that actually made him feel good because he wanted to convince them. He understood. He really did. He understood what was right. And he was right about that. A lot of it was based on common sense, by the way. Charlie wrote back to the staff member saying, I'm not here to fight them. I want to know them and love them, and I want to reach them and try and lead them into a great way of life in our country. In that private moment on his dying day, we find everything we need to know about who Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
Peace, family, peace. Welcome to another episode of the OG Wisdom Podcast with me, your brother Tad, our brother C-Gutta, and our returning correspondent of Thorough Black Talk Worldview, our sister K Fighter. Sis, how you feeling this morning? Rather, this afternoon.
Good. Glad to be with the OG Wisdom Podcast. That was a great intro.
Yeah. We had to set the tone of what today's conversation is going to be about. Gutta, when you ready, give me the thumbs up, bro. All right. And welcome to the stage, our brother C-Gutta. All right, family. The only admission to this platform is like, subscribe, and share. That's all that we're asking for. Brother Gutta.
I gotta hit one, man.
You gotta spark one up.
Every time we dealing with these dudes, man.
Look,
and yo, by the way, like they be getting like, you know, I'll be watching clips of CNN and Fox News and all that shit. Yo, they get the ugliest white ladies that get on there, bro.
They got pretty ones.
There's
some pretty ones out there.
No, I'm just saying they get the distinctly.
I'm joking, bro. Yeah.
You're not joking. Like it's real, but like they get the distinctly ugly one. Yo, bro, it's one on there look like Smeagol, my nigga. Yo, it's a grown lady, and yeah, they be talking some wild like dealing with them, you hear the shit that come out their mouth, bro.
And I think, well, we're gonna dive into that, Gutta, because when you listen to Trump's speech, it was at Charlie Kirk's memorial. You know, they passed him off as this good, right, upstanding Christian who didn't do anything wrong to anyone. But in the same token, in the same speech, Donald Trump will talk about hating his enemies. But then we have to define who are your enemies. And to what extent do you hate? And that's a rhetorical question because we know how they hate. And we're going to just touch the surface of that, get into the history of the Ku Klux Klan and where people are today, you know, under the guise of religion. You know, like you said, they got some ugly folks that's not just outside, but on the inside too. Ugly spirits,
but we
ugly
already
language.
Know, like dealing, like they culture is parasitic.
Yes.
You go back as far as you can when you deal with anything that they perceive as white culture. With Greece. We're gonna start with Greece. They already understood, you know, the Persians, the everybody else outside of that wasn't, even though half of the Greeks wasn't white, but culture, they had to adopt everything they got from black people.
Yeah,
come over here. The same dudes came over here and adopted indigenous practices in order to survive.
Yes.
Once they were able to survive, what they do, they try to wipe them out.
Yeah.
Now, as far as for the black indigenous, they basically did wipe them out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was paper genocide.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So now, that's what I'm saying. Their culture is parasitic.
Yeah. We're witnessing that in real time right now.
They need a host. Without a host, they you know what I'm saying? He's not going to survive.
Yeah. Sister K, what do you want to add on to that? What you seen Donald Trump had to say, and your thoughts, given the understanding of the history?
It's nothing new. You know, only those who are disillusioned believe that there is good in white folks. It's not in their nature to be that. Some people can be nice, some can be kind, but it's not their nature. They are the antithesis of what their nature is. When you look at, you know, the Christian right, for an example, or Christian extremism, it comes right out of a belief system that merges religion with racial identity and violence coming out of the Roman Empire from its inception. You know, it is of racial identity and violence. And so to think anything else, you know, you really don't understand what that is.
Yeah. Then it's another thing that them morons don't get it is I'll give you just the most solid example of where the Christian right, and this is not ancient history, but it's around the time of the transatlantic horror. The Christians got rid of the Moors.
Right.
When you look at Spain after that, what happened?
It started to fall.
Ain't nothing good happened from Spain since. Remember, the Spanish Armada lost to the British. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't a force no more. You know what I mean? That's why even if you look at their colonization, they don't even have as much as Portugal does.
Right.
So once that extremism centered itself right there, shit was over for them. They burnt books.
Dr. Francis Cress Wilson touched on that. What you're saying?
What they want to do now, they banning books, but they like in there. You got to remember the The Inquisition was directly after the last Moorish kingdom fell. You see what I'm saying?
So Dr. Francis Cress Wilson says it's a fear of genetic annihilation. Given that history you just gave us and seeing where they are right now, we see when young white folks delete people, they just say they mentally unstable, they have some type of trauma. Do you think this their last ditch effort to hold on to the illusion of them controlling things?
It's part of their culture. Like when me and you were talking outside of this, it's they show just through all you got to do is look at the track record. We're not going into no psychological anything. Just look at their track record. You know what I'm saying? So now their fear of a genetic annihilation is the first thing they're gonna foment is on each other.
Yes.
Because they actually cowards. And then they need the host. You know what I'm saying? We could take out some of the hosts, but we can't, you know what I'm saying? Because that's
the lifeline.
Out for survival. Without the host, we perish.
Right.
So they need us as well. Yeah. That's why it's more of a jealousy than a hate. Because they jealous that they can't get back that melanin, one. Because look at all the shit that you'll hear racists say. Was like, man, I wish and you know they racist, but they'll say, man, I wish I had genes like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they more athletic. They more athletic because of their genes and da 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 da. Boy, one dude said we more athletic because of slavery.
we not even going to ask.
But
who
this
said
is what I'm
that.
saying. They crave our genes. So that means they want to go back. They can't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Sister K, what do you want to add on to that?
I agree. It's like I said, it's the nature. And when you look at, I can speak about here, because we live here. And you opened up with Trump. When you look at the emergence of groups like the KKK in their religious stance, they just merged their distrust, first of all, for secular government and pluralism, but also mixing religion with racial and national identity. And a key component of that is that the KKK itself, these immigrants kill me. They all immigrants. The Ku Klux Klan was formed by 6 Scottish or Irish, or what they called Ulster Scots, when they had emerging. Yeah. They all are immigrants. The 6 founders are all Scottish immigrants. So it's funny to me that
the motherfuckers is immigrants to Scotland and Ireland too, because the motherfuckers is really Germanic. You got to remember, we got to go further back. All the motherfuckers immigrants from everywhere.
Yeah, but let her finish her point. I
just wanted to add that in.
Yeah. But it's funny how they talk about racial identity and national right, but it's all immigrants. All of you are immigrants. So where do you get this eggs from? The eggs come from your genetic coding. This is who they are. They can't help themselves. And what's sad is that you have persons like Vivek Ramaswamy or Kamala Harris come in and try to identify with a national and a racial identity that's not even their own. So that means that if you eliminated all white people off the planet of the earth right now, their ideology will still remain.
Yeah.
In persons like that, like Vivek Ramaswamy, Kamala Harris.
Sis, do you got that video you sent me of Vivek Ramaswamy? Because I think the audience would love that.
Give me 1 second. I'll get it up.
He got burnt up at the Turning Point joint?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, they're going to always show you how they really feel.
Yes.
Because they done with it. This is the thing. They done with them. They're going to show once they done with you, they're going to, bro, line it up. all the people that they was champion, that was being anti-black, you know what I'm saying? Once they achieve whatever they need to achieve in their name, they start telling them how they really feel about it.
Yeah.
Soon as he got out the way, soon as he did all that shit for Trump and got all those South Asians to slide his way, you see what the white lady said? She said, I would have never voted for you anyway because you Indian.
Yep.
So, you know, they gonna definitely let you know how they feel.
In fact, speaking of immigrants who are anti-black and identify as white, I want to touch on this dude right here.
No,
This guy right here.
Knife lodged in my throat. So I don't go near black people. And I understand perfectly well there are a lot of black people that are really good people. I'm not going to roll the dice. What if I'm wrong? I'd rather be alive. I'd rather be alive and too racist than dead and not racist enough. Is that simple enough?
Welcome back to another Base Floor video.
That is Nick Fuentes, for those who may not know. And he goes a lot deeper into his rhetoric, but it goes back to what our brother Gutta was just saying about the people who are non-white, who are anti-black and think because they're anti-black, they'll gain white acceptance. And Nick Fuentes is one of the most inflammatory people to who's in this space right now. He's trying to take Charlie Kirk's position. In fact, Gutta, if I'm not wrong, the person who clipped Charlie Kirk is a supporter of Nick Fuentes, correct?
Yeah, that's one of the things that's in you know, it's so much shit going on now. Bro, it's like it looked weird. Like even the whole assassination. Because they saying where the gun came from, where the bullet entered is not from the angle where dude was supposedly shooting from. It's a lot of shit going on there.
Right. And the caliber of the hammer that was used.
Well, no, a 30-06 can definitely knock a nigga noodle in from
right, exactly.
That shit can kill a deer from 400 yards. Believe me, it can definitely knock Charlie Kirk off. But they were saying from the angle that the bullet entered, they said it exited from where it should have entered from. Like he was being shot from the back instead of the front. And then you know you got all these people, you even got experts on this joint, like snipers is like, yo, you know, his head slumped forward and you know what I'm saying? Should have came off. You don't really know what's going on there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
because
they could be putting it on Nick Fuentes.
It's a lot of people on the right. You know what I'm saying? That's saying that. Not just like this is a broad spectrum of saying that whole joint looked like a setup. Like it's people on the right talking about her upbringing and then her pops in Eastern Europe and all that, how she's supposed to have been connected with some child trafficking and all that. Erica.
Yeah, the white.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and this is the far right. I wouldn't say well, they on the right. All of them
like on the right. Yeah,
it's nothing like this. What people don't understand. The Democrats are on the right. That's what people don't understand. It's like if you really think about, the Republicans are on the far right anyway. The Democrats are on the right. You may have a few people that's progressive and thinking about other things that's dealing with when we talking about true democracy.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hi.
Mr.
All
Denham.
Right. Yeah. But dude.
That's our dude.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like it's a whole lot of conspiracy going on with just that.
So
and everybody's using it really for a grift.
Yeah, because Sister Keisha got it up.
That's what
because
they do.
We see somebody who's supposed to be left, but he's pandering to the right. Sister K,
that's
you got that
white
up?
guy that said don't make me choose.
I'm not sure. Let's just watch the tape. Sister Keisha, when you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rock and roll.
This should be funny.
Okay, as soon as you pull it up, Tad, then I can play it.
Okay. So,
There you go.
Now Vivek thinks he could be a WASP.
How can you represent the constituents of Ohio who are 64% Christian if you are not a part of that faith? If you are an Indian, a Hindu, coming from a different culture, different religion than those who founded this country, those who grew this country, built this country, made this country the beautiful thing that it is today, what are you conserving? You are bringing change. I'll be 100% honest with you. Christianity is the one truth.
That kid is regurgitating white nationalist sentiments, and Vivek is just sitting there smiling. This is Dr. Bronson. He was a leader of the KKK. Dr. Bronson essentially said the same thing that kid said in 1924. His address was a strong plea for true and militant Americanism and Christianity, with an emphasis on white Anglo-Saxon Americanism and Protestant Christianity. Over and over again, he declared it to be a white Anglo-Saxon Christian nation. And he went on to say that about of the 110 men and women who signed the Mayflower were white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, and then 55 of the 56 people who signed the Declaration of Independence were white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. Most MAGA supporters and the bulk of Donald Trump's cabinet does not consist of WASP, but that's what makes this even more terrifying. So in this article from 1946, it says millions are alienated. The slurs cast in the debate not only on the Negro, but on the Catholic, the Jew, the American of Italian, Polish, Mexican, and even Indian origin by Southern advocates of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant supremacy is alienating millions of Americans, making them feel somehow different, somehow inferior, destroying their faith in the equality of man, which is the fundamental dogma of Americanism. So the reason why this is worse than it ever was before is because everyone is relating to whiteness now. Vivek is sitting there fighting for his life, trying to prove that he, even though he's not Christian, he's still a great representation for this white nationalist party. You have people who are mixed race because they have, 10% African ancestry, or even 5 or sometimes 25%. They're saying because they are white appearing that they have nothing to do with the struggles of their ancestors before them. Like the way people are identifying as white has expanded astronomically, and then not in a good way. Vivek, you will never be a WASP. I don't know what's going on up here with you, but get it together quick for all our sakes. Now Vivek thinks he could be a WASP.
I want to say real quick, and that's the funny part, as he introduced the word WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, because Irish and Italians and Southern Jews thought they were white in the beginning, because we got to remember a lot of this is a racial construct. And in this country, what they considered white was the white Anglo-Saxon
Protestants.
And you see, they had to prove themselves.
That's why, if you think about it, they didn't want the migration of Italians and Irish. They took them because they didn't have no choice.
Right, they had the numbers.
They didn't have no choice because of the statutes of, you know what I'm saying? You come over, this is the land of the free, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
They were white. They were white presenting.
Yes.
So they couldn't really deny. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even though a lot of Italians and a lot of Irish was dark as a motherfucker.
Yeah. Sister Keisha, you was getting ready to say something to that?
You can see them photos of Ellis Island and see them motherfuckers was damn near niggas.
Yeah.
In fact, they were called that.
Yeah, they definitely was Irish and black, but like I said, you got to remember that history, the Moors in Sicily and all of that. So they had a lot of niggas up in them anyway.
Yeah.
But what they did was, you got to remember, right after, I think that was after after the Civil War, when they brought in all the Germans, the Dutch, like they had a large influx of them, because what are they? White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Yeah. Sister Keisha, you was gonna add on to that?
Yeah, but and as you see, even though they were not identified or classified as white in the beginning, they had to prove their whiteness.
Yeah.
And how they did that was to be more racist, more violent than the British and the English. And so they did that. And that's why the Ku Klux Klan was formed, and it was all formed by Scottish immigrants.
Right.
And they worked in conjunction. The KKK worked in conjunction, with the the Italian mafia. When you had those unalivings and stuff back during the civil rights movement, that was the work of the Giacatti family, Sam Giancana and them. So, they all had to prove that. And when you look at persons like Vivek Ramaswamy, the verbiage that comes out of his mouth against, foundational Black Americans, like as if we're the worst people on the planet. But as Sister Brooke put in the chat, they are all buffer classes to keep them, separated from us.
To keep us, to always keep us at the lowest level. Because what they do is, and even Africans from the continent, they do the same thing, because what they do is the government grants them certain privileges that they don't grant Black Americans.
Now, y'all gave a lot of stuff that I wanted to touch on. Y'all was back and forth. The formation of the Ku Klux Klan, the Irish involvement, that's in 1865, because what people don't know, they started then it died down. Then in 1915, back to y'all point about Ellis Island, when they invited more Europeans in, when they said, send us your sick and huddled masses. That was a resurgence, and that's when a lot of lynchings happened. See, a lot of people think the lynchings were during our enslavement. The lynchings happened 100 years ago when other European migrants came. In
order to prove their whiteness.
Right, because the movie A Birth of a Nation exploded the Klan's membership, because again, in that movie they vilified Black people. D.W. Griffin's movie The Birth of a Nation.
I think that's when they incorporated it as well.
Yes.
Either right before or right after.
And to your point, and these are things that's not talked about, because as Sister Keisha said, up to the civil rights movement, because it died down a little bit, and then we see a resurgence again in the 1950s, and this is during civil rights movement. So it died down again after the civil rights movement, and what we're witnessing right now with all the rhetoric, all the language under the guise of Christianity, is the resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah. So I'm glad y'all did that. And I want to show a video real quick, and then we're going to come back to it. But this is one of the pastors who and it's a short clip. Shout out to Dr. Rashad Ritchie. This is from his video, and I'm going to share it real quick. Just give me 1 minute, family. Let's rock and roll.
Number of Blacks who are committing murder is more than whites. Right. And whites are significantly greater,
60% compared to 13%
percentage of the population. Yeah.
So if you take that, and then you took a law like Deuteronomy 21, which is a just law that God enacted through Moses. The law was that if you had a rebellious son, you have a child they're coming up into their manhood and they're rebellious. They don't listen. He lists some characteristics, and even though they're disciplined, they will not turn. He says the fathers to bring them out into the town square. This is a rebellious son. And then they stone him to death. They kill him.
And an armed robber would certainly be one of those.
Oh, absolutely. Armed robber, all the ghetto
violent
culture.
Crime.
Basically take ghetto culture. It would describe this to a T.
All right. You hear that foolishness, right? I want to say something real quick to that, and then I'm gonna get y'all opinion on what we just heard, because I did the research. I had to look it up. All right, white people are 60% of the population here in the United States. What he did not acknowledge is that 80% of the white murders in the United States are committed by white people. He talked about rape. 75% of SAs in this country are committed by white folks, not black folks. This is FBI stats. But I say that because look how a pastor can easily sit on a platform and just lie. And it's a quick Google search. We got Chat GPT now. Quick chat search. Look at the FBI database, and it has always been them. But this speaks to the condemnation of blackness, making blackness a criminal element to support their position to get white folks to jump on board and be anti-black, and non-blacks to be anti-black.
Yeah, I this is the thing. Our appearance is criminal. Because this is the thing, you got to also remember they have that post slavery master complex too, where they think they got they have to see what we doing and control however we move. You know what I'm saying? Add that with the jealousy, and then the fact that like they're mad, like David Chappelle said it perfect. They mad that we got away.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Man. Like we can't like you know what I mean? And that's the majority. Like it's amazing to me how people really think that the majority of the country is like progressive. Because for number one, you would have to ask a black conservative, like, what are you conserving? Like, what American thing are you conserving? Because we got to go back to the word. You know what I'm saying? So what are you conserving? Well, like, as a black man, being a conservative, what are you conserving? Because no matter that, no, but this is what I'm saying. No matter our political views, all of us think that we want the black way of life to move. Now, what it is they add criminal elements within our culture, like that's our culture. When actually it's the exact. It's the white man's culture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's European culture since they have made it homogenous.
Yeah, but because see, that's what I was going to add on.
Before Europe was homogenous, it was diverse. Once they made it homogenous, that's all they thought about.
But that's what I was going to say about being conservative, because one thing we can't forget, there's two Americas. There's Black America and white America. And I think as Black conservatives, because, and see, that's a word we would have to unpack, because I consider myself a Black conservative. Black culture, the way we were raised, our culture. Because we know that our culture is separate from white folks' culture. Our culture has always been community-centered, where we can talk to each other's children. We look out for each other.
We got to understand is when somebody says they're a white conservative.
Right.
They put themselves, when they say they are Black conservative, they put themselves within the larger society.
But that's why I said we got to unpack the word.
And when they do that, they criminalize Black culture.
Right. That's the coon.
So that's what I'm saying is when a Black man says he's a Black conservative, and I'm not talking about somebody that you would see on the street.
Right.
I'm talking about
I get what you're talking about. These fake pundits. That's
So these people that go on these platforms, they pundits.
Right.
Like on me and you I wanted to talk about this bozo anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith.
Exactly. I wanted to talk about him anyway, but these are the type of dudes,
right,
that give that type of punditry. You know what I'm saying? As yo, do we like he talk about that? Then when this dude get caught for drunk driving, he's a kid, but he's a Caucasian. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but that's why I want to give the vision, because when people are not considered conservative, they're considered liberals. And what we understand, as Malcolm taught us about the foxy liberals, see, and this is what they do, because I agree with you, but I always want to add context so the audience could understand.
What I wanted to say is I don't think, I look at it from the view as we should be independent thinkers outside society's box.
Yes.
That's neither.
I agree 100%.
That's neither, because it's certain things, it's certain things you could say that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it's a reality that we need to deal with.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%.
But like I said, if whether you a Democrat or a Republican, they all to the right.
Yeah.
So neither one of them are in our best interest.
But see, and that's why I want to,
because you got
qualify
this
these
dude,
statements.
you got this dude Joe Manchin, clear racist.
Right. But I want to get my point. I want to get my point across before we go too far. When we talk about, because see, some people don't know where to stand. So they say conservative, you say liberal. But one thing that they do, the white conservatives, if you're not in alignment with them, you must be a liberal. But now, what does the liberal encompass? The liberal encompass migrants, every issue that's non-white. Even if it don't benefit blacks, as a black person, you're supposed to accept it. You're supposed to accept the Rainbow Crew. You're supposed to accept migrants. Anything that, even if it don't work in our interest, if white people are against it, you're supposed to be for it. And that's why I always talk about the division of America, the black America and the white America, because we live in the black America and this is our reality. So white folks, their reality, that's them. They over there with that. I'm over here with it. And I'm trying to preserve and conserve our culture, our way of life. Because if we let them tell it, they're going to push all the gays over here. They're going to push all the immigrants here. And that's why folks get mad when black Americans don't come out and rally for their causes, even if their causes are to our detriment, because this side of society, white society, says all rejects belong over here with black folks.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm dismissing.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm agreeing with you. This is for the audience to give me context.
Yeah, I'm in 100% agreement. And and I think most black people that think we don't even I don't even consider white society. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right.
I'd even they are no factor in my life outside of laws being, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That they do that affect my people.
Right.
But outside of that, I don't I'm not sitting here thinking about if they care about us, if they're gonna do the right thing. Because I already know. I just go by the patterns. You're not gonna do the right thing.
Right.
So I'm not expecting that from you.
Yeah. Let's not leave our sister Keisha out the conversation though, Sister Key. Sister Key, what you want to add to this?
Nothing. What y'all doing is right on time because, even I too consider myself a black conservative, but not in the way that they, identify. As Tad said, conserving our culture, conserving who we are, conserving where we came from. That is the principle of foundational black Americans. You want to conserve who we are because everybody has been muddy in the waters, if you will. Getting back to, the times of, when we had to depend on each other as community. This integration mindset has really twisted the culture and the foundation.
No, I definitely agree with that. I never, long as I remember, I ain't want to integrate. You know what I'm saying? And I'm basically of that age. I was born 69. So all of that stuff was happening in me coming up. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, certain schools wasn't desegregated until at least 10 years after Brown versus Educated. At least. That's so, we still was going to segregated schools.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you, Gutta, when you was down there, right? Were y'all asked if you wanted to integrate, or were y'all just forced to be bussed out and things like that? Since you lived in the South during that time.
That shit ain't crack, my nigga. That bussing and all that. It was the only time you really mix, like I said, you'll have the poor white kids that they consider white trash that can't afford to go to private school. You know what I'm saying? They went to public school. They went because they abandoned. This is what they did in the South, bro. They kind of abandoned public school, the white people. So even unless you was fucked up on welfare and you had to go to public school, they was in private schools. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, at least the towns that I lived in.
Right.
Even here in New York, because people have an illusion of what New York is. Even though it's a liberal city, it's very segregated. It always has been.
I
Very
went
segregated.
to Prospect Heights. You know what I'm saying? When I came back, first and only school I went to, Prospect Heights. You know what I'm saying? Bro, Clara Barton right next is girl and a boy, but it's black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all black. No matter where the people was coming from, because you know you had a lot of people from the Caribbean and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like I went to James Madison. So James Madison was totally different. It's been one of the most segregated white communities in Brooklyn. And I guarantee you ask any Brooklynite, you know anybody live in Marine Park? The answer is no.
Yeah, that's
So
like
we had to fight the Italians and the Russians who lived over there. We had to fight them.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Go in there and watch my phone till I finish.
Okay. No doubt. But you know what? We're talking about how these people incorporate these things in the language, in the religion. I want to show a clip from the movie Django. And I wonder if a lot of people missed it. I'm going to pull it up real quick. It's a 3-minute clip from Monsieur Candy.
Oh, so
and this is...
So is this a segue?
Yeah. I just want to bring something up real quick. Here we go.
Who is your little friend?
This is Ben. He's an old Joe that lived around here for a long time. And I do mean a long damn time. Old Ben here took care of my daddy and my daddy's daddy till he up and killed over one day. Old Ben took care of me. Growing up the son of a huge plantation owner in Mississippi puts a white man in contact with a whole lot of black faces. I spent my whole life here, right here in Candyland, surrounded by black faces. I seen them every day, day in, day out. I only had one question. Why don't they kill us? Now, right out there on that porch, 3 times a week for 50 years, old Ben here would shave my daddy with a straight razor. Now, if I was old Ben, I would have cut my daddy's goddamn throat, and it wouldn't have taken me no 50 years to do it neither. But he never did. Why not? You see, the science of phrenology is crucial to understanding the separation of our two species. In the skull of the African here, the area associated with submissiveness is larger than any human or any other subhuman species on planet Earth. If you examine this piece of skull here, you'll notice 3 distinct dimples. Here, here, and here. Now, if I was holding the skull of an Isaac Newton or Galileo, these 3 dimples would be found in the area of the skull most associated with creativity. But this is the skull of old Ben. And in the skull of old Ben, unburdened by genius, these 3 dimples exist in the area of the skull most associated with civility. Now, Bright Boy, I will admit you are pretty clever. But if I took this hammer here and I bashed in your skull with it, you would have the same 3 dimples in the same place as old Ben.
Monday CRM is so intuitive, I think it just spurred my mind.
That's wild. And I think a lot of people miss that in that movie, what the context of what he was saying. And if you really grasp what he was saying, because I had shared in the chat, a private chat rather, something with Brother Tad, the White Declaration of Independence that was written in 1898, and that was written after Black men became senators in the United States. And those Black men made sure that the communities that they represented flourished. That's where you saw the Black Renaissance of economic power begin to take shape. Places like Rosewood and Tulsa and things of that nature took shape. And so in 1898, they rewrote that Declaration of Independence, saying that never again will they allow anyone of African origin to rule over white men ever again. And they live by that to this very day. And when people say, oh, they talking about the Constitution, which one? Which one are you talking about? Because most people don't talk about this one. They stuck that plan. Yes, I'm glad Brother Tad put it in the chat so y'all can read it on your own time. But read that and read it slowly and carefully. And that'll give you a great understanding of what it is that you're dealing with in society today, here and around the world.
You know, sis, and another thing I like about that, because he talked about the science of phrenology is something that they still roll with. I think phrenology was created by Johann Friedrich Blumenbach, then years later followed by Karl Linnaeus with the classification of the races. But Johann Friedrich Blumenbach is the one who came up with the term Caucasian. He says, since all skeletons and skulls are white, it stands to reason that the default color of humanity is white, and the most beautiful white people he ever seen came from the Caucasus Mountains, which is in Georgia, in the section in Russia. It's a place called Georgia. That's where the term Georgia come from. And he said the most beautiful ones come out of the Caucasus Mountains. That's where we get Caucasian from. That's the science of that. Also, he spoke on the psyche, on why didn't Ben cut his father's throat? You know what I'm saying? Then he said, had that been them, wouldn't even have been a second thought.
Right, because it's their nature. You see what I'm saying? Right, Tad.
Yeah, no. I just had to put that out there because sometimes people miss that. Because I remember I really didn't want to see Django in the beginning, but of course, in the research, you have to see what it is you're going to argue about. You have to do the research, regardless of how painful it is. You know, so you sit through movies you don't want to see. You read through books where you don't care for the author. Because what points are you attacking if you don't do your research? And when I saw that, I said, oh, he's speaking to the psyche and the science. Because remember, all of this, what they call science, is their opinion. Like even with the jab, they was talking about follow the science. Nah. We ain't with
you know what? Actually, Tad, a lot was taken off on the cutting room floor. There's a brother in Soho on Spring Street, and you can catch him early Saturday mornings. I don't know if he's still there, but he sells original manuscripts of films. So when this movie came out at UAM, we did a symposium. 4 of us did a symposium on this film. And while they watched the film, I read the original manuscript. They even talked about the sexual science of the black man as opposed to the white man. And that was taken off the cutting room floor.
Wow. See, there's so much that we still learning today because this is who they are. Scenes like that are what's called dog whistles to them because they're conditioned in this. And this is why it's so important that we stand on our square and always educate our community, but move forward because they've already pivoted away from quote unquote racism. It's embedded in everything they do. As Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. taught Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, they operate this way in the 9 areas of human activity: entertainment, sex, law, science, religion. So we see this rise, and we don't want our audience to be dismayed by this illusion of inclusion. Because granted, you control your own destiny, but you got to be mindful that there's people out here still trying to cut you off at every path. So as we get gentrified out of our communities, as some people are forced to move to other towns that may be more affordable, you may be in a predominantly white area. Or even if you don't move, your community becomes a predominantly white area. And I want you to understand how many operate. And many of them think, and as my sister said, this is in a lot of their nature. Nick Fuentes, this is not 1865. This is not 1965. But the language has not changed. We seen the young boy tell Vivek Ramaswamy, he's not an old person. He's a child, but still have the language of one of the founding members of the Ku Klux Klan. Where did he get it from?
It never changed.
Right.
Did you see that video of some young people, I think in a daycare, and they told the black girl she looks like a monkey?
Yeah,
you ever see
the birthday song. Yeah.
Yes. No. The other one, she was coming home from a daycare, and the mom picked her up, and she's surrounded by these white children who are in her class, and they said, "You just look like a little monkey." It's in their nature. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and the scary part is look at how they're being put back on the platforms right now. We know they was quiet for a little bit, not too quiet because we keep our ears to the streets. However, look at how Charlie Kirk went mainstream.
Yeah,
and he's not. And look, they actually signed in a day of remembrance for him. But what has he contributed to society or humanity to make this a better place? I'll wait. Somebody tell me, what has he done that's noteworthy to be honored and remembered? Yeah, do that in your community. Do that with your family. But on the national stage, to have Democrats and Republicans both vote to honor this man, they bugging. Where's Malcolm's Day of Remembrance? Yeah, say it again, Gutta.
They two peas in the same pod.
Yeah, and we have to be mindful. Wow, I guess we was trying to keep this short today, and the time is flying.
Yeah.
Anything y'all want to add to it, Sister Keisha? Anything you want to add before we bounce up out of here? It's almost 3:00.
Yeah, because I got to get downstairs and finish cooking. But I just want everybody to understand the times that we live in is no different than the times of our grandparents and great-grandparents. They just give you an illusion that something is different. They give you an illusion of inclusion. They give you an illusion that you have a choice. As C-Gutta said, left wing, right wing, same goddamn bird. The philosophy of the Democratic Party itself is the most dangerous. When you look at the Democrat Party, the Klan came out of the Democratic Party. Didn't come out of the Republican Party. It came out of the Democrat Party. So you cannot continue to fool ourselves thinking that we have a stake in a political regime as it is. In order to change that, you have to dismantle it. And so I employ everybody who is a registered voter to get out of either party and re-register as an independent, non-party affiliate to break the parties. Because if you do, legally, they have to turn over the populace of election back to the people. And then, and only then, can we take it over.
No doubt. Appreciate you, Sister K. Brother Gutta, what you want to leave the people with?
Man, like I was saying, like they gonna attack each other first. They're gonna the ones that right? They've been killing each other for centuries. You got to remember they had 100 years war. So yeah. If like nowhere else, and then like they don't have any civilization.
Right.
Greece got all this shit off of Africa. Rome got all this shit from Greece. You understand what I'm saying? And then when you think, name a time during Greece's era that they weren't at war. Same thing with Rome. So how you a civilization when your whole from beginning to end you've been at war?
Yeah.
You call that a civilization? Name one of they just name one of they dynasties where it's no war. Name a time in Europe where there wasn't no war.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You go anywhere else. You go anywhere else on the planet. Even people might have their wars to establish something, and once it's established,
it's over.
It'd be peaceful for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah. I was in Ghana. I went to the Safo Tufiami, that mean warrior gunfighting. And what the chiefs were doing was renewing their treaties from back when they were warring over 100 and something years ago. You know, the Ashanti Kingdom, the God people, all of them, they were just coming together and just reinforcing the treaties. It was dope. It was dope to see. But that's something that they do every year around August. It's a big festival. It's huge. Yeah. It's called the Safo Tufiami, and it's dope. But family, we don't thank y'all for rocking out with us today. You know, catch me and Sister K Fighter every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Thorough Black Talk Worldview. We will be taking a break for the next couple of weeks, so look for us in the middle of November. But me and Gutta will be back here next week at 2 p.m. bringing you some more of this OG wisdom. So hopefully you were inspired by something you heard here today. Your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, there's always better days ahead. Peace, family.